Hello everybody and welcome to Eddzshed. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Daredevil, which is the specialization for the thief. We've recently been able to play this on the beta weekend, and it was something that I managed to get stuck in and have a good play of. Unfortunately I never really got down to taking a decent enough look at all of the different traits that it's got. It has such a great feel to it. I got sort of sidetracked doing a couple of dungeons with it. And it was very interesting. The profession mechanics in it have changed massively compared to how a thief would usually play, sort of wanting to stay in the shadows and stealthing. So the first thing to note is that we've now got a staff for the thief. And a lot of the staff attacks will actually give you the ability, if you trace it right, to regenerate endurance. And that's the thing that you're actually using when you're using the dodge mechanic in the game. The other big thing to note is that you will be able to dodge 3 times as opposed to the usual 2. And this is made all the more important by the fact that the base profession mechanic changes so that when you dodge, you can do sort of one of 3 things. You've got a something called Lotus Training, which is a trait, and that will mean that you evade, but you also hurl daggers which damage enemies. Now, the biggest drawback to this is if you are trying to skip in a dungeon and you dodge roll to get past something, you end up pulling mobs from around you because you throw out daggers. So that's a bit of a pain, but is something that is balanced out by the fact that you're able to do damage just by dodging, and that's a very cool mechanic. The next one you've got is Unhindered Combatant, and this will remove a condition and grant you swiftness as you rush forward evading attacks. So that's sort of a lot more straightforward and very good if you are skipping in a dungeon. The third one that you've got is called Bounding Dodger. And this, you actually leap into an area and you deliver a massive blow to the enemies around you. I never really got a chance to use this too much. You do a fair bit of damage. Personally, my favourite was the Lotus Training trait. And the reason that I love this is that, coupled with the staff's ability to regenerate endurance, and then your ability to regenerate initiative by dodging, means that you can have this sort of very much almost sort of warrior monk feel. It was fantastic, where you would be pirouetting over the enemies, throwing out these daggers, hitting them with a staff a few times, getting your endurance back, dodging them again. And I found myself in one of the dungeons that I ran. I don't know if I actually managed to get the footage of it or not. I was having some trouble recording it. If I have got the footage, I'll show it you now, where I was able to almost tank the boss, for want of a better word, and I was doing that simply by I was permanently able to be dodging him, and I was dealing damage using the dodges. So as I say, that's something that has really changed the way that you're going to play a thief. You're no longer going to want to be hiding in the shadows and getting in, stabbing them a few times, disappearing. You're gonna want to be there and fighting in melee combat with your staff, and it's a really fun technique, and I'm sure that people who are far more talented at creating builds than me and have got far more time than I have will be able to create something very powerful for PvP and for dungeons. If anybody sort of remembers in Guild Wars 1, you had like the 55 HP monk and things. I'm sure you're going to end up with similar type things for the thief, for the Daredevil, as you're going to be able to go in with very low life pool but survive an awful lot because you're simply not going to be taking any damage, because you are going to be permanently in a state of either dodging or regenerating your endurance to dodge. So as I say, very, very cool. In fact, one of the healing skills that you've now got is called Channeled Vigor, and this will regenerate your endurance again. So if you do find yourself in a tight spot, you get your health back and you get endurance, so you can carry on with your dodging right from the start again. So the 4 utility skills that we've got is Bandit's Defense, and this will briefly block incoming attacks. If people get in melee range trying to hit you, you'll be able to retaliate and knock them to the ground. You've got Distracting Daggers. Now, when you use this, you will have a limited amount of time to throw out I think it's 3 daggers in total, and these can interrupt skills. Now, currently, I haven't found that particularly useful, but if the 10-man raids are anything like the sort of raids that you used to be seeing in other MMOs, that's going to be very useful for disrupting the boss's big attacks in those instances. The next one that you've got is Fists, or Fist Flurry, I should say. And this you're able to basically go all martial arts on your enemy, hit them multiple times, and if you hit them every single time, you get an opportunity to do one final massive damage palm strike to your enemy. So that's quite cool. It feels very good when you do get it off. Has a very nice sort of ninja-y feel to it, if that's something that's interesting to you. I know certainly is to me. The next one you've got is Impairing Daggers. And this, you just throw out your daggers and you can immobilize an enemy for a short period of time. I didn't find it overly useful. I don't know if I was using it wrong, but immobilizing didn't seem to work. It was more that it mildly slowed them down. But I could have just been getting unlucky given the sort of monsters that I was fighting against. You've also got a new elite skill, and this is called Impact Strike. And this you get to strike your enemy and stun them. And then you can deal a heavy blow with your fist to send the enemy flying. And deals a down strike to your foe, down in an enemy struck with down enemies are struck with this ability are finished. So you can basically finish people off with this elite skill. Gonna be very cool in PvP. Really annoying as well at the same time. So if thieves weren't already great in PvP, they certainly are after this specialization. So it's something definitely to watch out for. I'm not going to get into all the other traits because, as I say, I didn't personally have enough time to play with them. But I thought this profession was so cool. It made you feel like a ninja, and ultimately, who doesn't want to feel like a ninja from time to time? Definitely worth leveling a thief in time for Heart of Thorns. If as I say, you want to be a ninja. I can't make it much more simpler than that. So I hope this video has been fun for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've discovered a few things about the new specialization. And please like and subscribe. And I will see you around.